Assalamu alaikum, and we are discussing Act 4 of Mourning Becomes Electra. So, this is Act 4 of Homecoming. The scene is Asra Manon's bedroom, and a big four-poster bed is at the rear center, the foot front, the head against the rear wall. So, this is just like the bed जो कि हमने देखा पुरानी movies के अंदर ये old vintage beds हुआ करते थे जिसके चारों sides पे poles होते थे for covering. A small stand with a candle on it is by the head of the bed on the left. To the left of the stand is a door leading into Christine's room. The door is open, so this is interesting things. So Ezra Menon's bedroom, and from there a door leads to Christine's room. So why are they living in separate rooms since they're husband and wife? So this shows their a kind of like emotional separation. The door is open. In the left wall, there are two windows. At left front is a table with a lamp on it and a chair beside it. In the right wall front is a door leading to the hall. Further back against the wall is a bureau. None of these details can be discerned at first because the room is in darkness except for what moonlight filters feebly through the shutters. It is now dawn of the following morning. Christine's form can be made out, a pale ghost in darkness, as she slips slowly and stealthily from the bed. She tiptoes to the table, left front, and picks up a light colored dressing gown that is flung over the chair and puts it on. She stands listening for some sound from the bed. A pause, like she's trying to make sure whether he's slept or awake. Then Manon's voice comes suddenly from the bed, dull and lifeless. Christine starts violently in a strained voice. Yes, she was not expecting or she did not want him to speak. Must be near daybreak, isn't it? Yes, it's beginning to get grey. Like थोड़ी सी रोशनी आना शुरू हो गई है. What made you jump when I spoke? Is my voice so strange to you? क्यों चौंक गई मेरी आवाज़ से? I thought you were asleep. I haven't been able to sleep. I've been lying here thinking, what makes you so uneasy? I haven't been able to sleep either. You slunk out of bed so quietly. I didn't want to wake you. Bitterly. Couldn't you bear it lying close to me? कि जान छुड़ा रही हो? I didn't want to disturb you by tossing around. We would better light the light and talk a while. With dread. I don't want to talk. I prefer the dark. Manan, I want to see you. He takes matches from the stand by the bed and lights a candle on it. Christine hastily sits down in the chair by the table, pushing it so that she sits facing left front with her face turned 3/4 away from him. He pushes his back up against the head of the bed in a half sitting position. His face, with a flickering candle light on its side, has a grim, bitter expression. You like the dark, where you can't see your old man of a husband? Is that it? कि तुम अंधेरे में रहना चाह रही हो कि तुम्हें अपना ये बुढ़ा जो हस्बैंड है नजर ना आए? Christine, I wish you wouldn't talk like that, Ezra. If you're going to say stupid things, I'll go into my room. She gets to her feet but keeps her face turned away from him. Manan, wait. Then, with a note of pleading in his voice, don't go. I don't want to be alone. She sits again in the same position as before. He goes on humbly. I didn't mean to say those things. I guess there's bitterness inside me. My own cussedness, maybe, and sometimes it gets out before I can stop it. You have always been bitter. Before we married, I don't remember. You don't want to remember you ever loved me. Tensely. I don't want to talk of the past. Abruptly changing the subject. Did you hear Winnie the first part of the night? She was pacing up and down before the house like a sentry guarding you. She didn't go to bed until 2. I heard the clock strike. Manan, this there is only one who loves me, at least. Then after a
It's
pause,
1 o'clock.
I feel strange, Christine. Christine, you mean your heart? You don't think you're going to be taken ill, do you? So this is not what she is anticipating. This is what she wants badly. Manan, harshly, no. I paused then, accusingly. Is that what you were waiting for? Is that what you were so willing to give yourself tonight? Were you hoping? Were you hoping that my heart is so weak I may not be bearing any excitement and die of it? Christine, springing up. Azra, stop talking like that. I can't stand it. She moves as if to go into her room. Manan, wait, I'm sorry I said that. Then, as she sits down again, he goes on gloomily. It isn't my heart. It's something uneasy troubling my mind, as if something in me was listening, watching, waiting for something to happen. So, this is probably the inevitability of death that he is expecting. Waiting for what to happen? I didn't know. I paused, then he goes on somberly. This house is not my house. This is not my room, nor my bed. They're empty, waiting for someone to move in. And you're not my wife. You're waiting for something. Like everything is expecting a change. Even you, being my wife, you're waiting for someone to come in. Or you want me to be replaced. Christine, beginning to snap under the strains, jumps to her feet again. इसने उठक बैठक लगाई हुई है. What would I be waiting for? For death to set you free, so that I may die and you're free? Leave me alone. Stop nagging at me with your crazy suspicions. Then anger and hatred come into her voice. Not your wife? You acted as if I were your wife, your property, not so long ago. Manan, with bitter scorn. Body? What are bodies to me? I've seen too many rotting in the sun to make grass greener. Ashes to ashes, dirt to dirt. Is that your notion of love? Do you think I married a body? Then, as if all the bitterness and hurt him and suddenly burst its dam, you were lying to me tonight as if you've always lied. You were only pretending love. You let me take you as if you were a nigger slave I'd brought at auction. You made me appear a lustful beast in my own eyes, as you've always done since our first marriage night. I would feel cleaner now if I had gone to a brothel. I would feel more honor between myself and life. कि शादी के पहले दिन से आज तक तुमने सिर्फ प्रिटेंड किए. Like I could not see any emotions in you. I could not see any feelings in you. मुझे तो ये लग रहा था जैसे मैंने किसी ऑक्शन से किसी गुलाम को ख़रीदा है एंड आई एम सेटिस्फाइंग माई नीड्स और जो गुलाम है दैट इज़ ओनली मोशनलेस और इमोशनलेस सो दिस इज़ वॉट यू बीन बिहेविंग विद मी सो इससे तो मैं किसी ब्रॉथल में चला जाता मेरे पास कुछ ऑनर होती क्रिस्टीन इन अ स्टफल्ड वॉइस Look out, Ezra, I won't stand. With a harsh laugh. And I had hoped my homecoming would mark a new beginning. मैं तो ये सोच गया था कि घर आऊँगा न्यू लव बिटवीन अस सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा माफ़ी मांगूंगा और हम क्वालिटी टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे सब I told you my secret feelings. I tore my insides out for you, thinking you would understand. By God, I'm an old fool. कि मैं पागल था मैंने तुम्हारे सामने ये सब कुछ एक्सपेक्ट किया एक चीज़ को एतराफ़ किया एक्सेप्ट किया दैट वाज ऑल माय फुलिशनेस Christine, her voice grown strident. Did you think you could make me weak? Make me forget all the years? Oh no, Ezra, it's too late. Then her voice changes as if she had suddenly resolved on a course of action and becomes deliberately taunting. You want the truth? You've guessed it. You have used me. You have given me children, but I've never once been yours. I never could be. And whose fault is it? I loved you when I married you. I wanted to give myself, but you made me so I couldn't give. You filled me with disgust. Furiously, you say that to me? Then, trying to calm himself, stammers. He knows he should not be taking tension. No, be quiet. We must not fight. I mustn't lose my temper. I'll bring on it'll bring on it will bring on some disease to me, attack to me, goading him with a calculating cruelty. Oh no. You need not adopt that pitiful tone. You wanted the truth, and you're going to hear it now. Frightened, almost pleading, be quiet, Christine. सो उसने जहन बना लिया कि मैं इसको मज़ीद तैश दिलाऊंगी ताकि इसको लाइक जो मेरा मकसद है वो पूरा हो सके और उसको डर है कि मैं कुछ ऐसा ना सुन लूँ जिससे मेरी ये तकलीफ़ बढ़े. I've lied about everything. I lied about Captain Brant. He is Mary Brantham's son, and it was he came to see, not Vinny. I made him come. So ये डबल उसको डोज मिली एजरा को. एक तो ये कि वो मैरी ब्रैंटमे का सन निकल आया, एक दूसरा ये कह रही कि मैंने बुलाया, विनय ने बुलाया. Seized with fury. You dared, you, that son of the Christine. Yes, I did, and all my trips to New York weren't to visit father, but to be with Adam Brent. He's gentle and tender. He's everything you've never been. He's what I've longed for all these years with you. A lover, I love him. So now you know the truth? Manan, in a frenzy, struggling to get out of bed. You ho, I'll kill you. Suddenly falls back, groaning, doubled up on his left side with intense pain. वो पेन शुरू हो गई दिल में. ये वही थी जो कि क्रिस्टीन चाहती थी. Christine with savage satisfaction. Ah, chalo, shukar Allah da, ye kaam ho gaya. She hurries through the doorway into her room and immediately returns with a small box in her hand. He's facing away from a door, and even if the intense pain left him any perception, he could not notice a departure and return. She moves so silently. Banan, graspingly. Quick, medicine. Christine turns away from him, takes a pellet from the box, asking tensely as she does so, where is your medicine? On the stand, hurry. Wait, I have it now. She pretends to take something by the stand, by the head of the bed, then holds out the pellet and a glass of water, which is on the stand here. He turns to her, groaning, and opens his mouth. She puts the pellet on his tongue and presses the glass of water to his lips. Now drink. Manan takes a swallow of water, then suddenly a wild look of terror comes over his face. Feel किया उसने कि something is not going well. He gasps, that's not my medicine. She shrinks back to the table, the hand with the box held out behind her, as if seeking a hiding place. Her fingers release the box on the tabletop and she brings her hand in front of her as if instinctively impelled to prove to him she has nothing. His eyes are fixed on her in a terrible, accusing glare. He tries to call for help, but his voice fades into wheezy whisper. Help, Vinny! He falls back into a coma, breathing sternously. Christine stares at him fascinately and then starts with terror as she hears a noise from the hall and frantically snatches up the box from the table and holds it behind her back, turning to face the door as it opens and Lavinia appears in the doorway. वो सो नहीं रही थी, वो भी इसी jealousy या इस care की वजह से जागती रही और थोड़ी सी आवाज़ सुन के आ गई. She is dressed as at the end of Act 3, in nightgown, wrapped in slippers. She stands dazed and frightening and hesitating as if she had just awakened. Lavinia, I had a horrible dream. I thought I heard father calling me. It woke me up. Christine, trembling with a guilty terror, stammers. He just had an attack. Hurries to the bed. Father! She puts her arms around him. He fainted. Christine, no, he's all right now. Let him sleep. At this moment, Manan, with the last dying effort, straightens up a sitting position in Lavinia's arms. His eyes glaring at his wife and manages to raise his arm and points an accusing finger at her. Gasps. She's guilty, not Madison's. He falls back limply. Further frightened, she feels for his pulse, puts her ear against his chest to listen for the heartbeat. Christine, let him alone, he's asleep, he's dead, repeats mechanically, dead? Then in a strange flat tone, I hope he rests in peace. Like it did not matter her anymore. कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ा उसे. Lavinia, turning to her with hatred. Don't you dare pretend you wanted him to die. You, she stops and stares at her mother with a horrified suspicion, then harshly accusing. Why did he point at you like that? Why did he say you were guilty? Answer me. Stammers. I told him Adam was my lover. Aghast. You told him that when you knew his heart? Oh, you did it on purpose. You murdered him. No, it was your fault. You made him suspicious. He kept talking of love and death. He forced me to tell him. Her voice becomes sick as if she were drowsy and fighting off sleep. Her eyes half closed. Lavinia grabbing her by the shoulder fiercely. Listen, look at me. He said not medicine. What did he mean? Christine keeping the hand with the poison pressed against her back. I don't know. You do know. What was it? Tell me. With the last effort of will, manages to draw herself up and speak with a simulation of an outraged feeling. Are you accusing your mother of the murder? Yes, I. Then distractedly, no. You can't be that devil. इतनी बुरी नहीं हो सकती तुम. Her strength gone, swaying weakly. I don't know what you're talking about. She edges away from Lavinia toward her bedroom, and the hand with the poison stretched out behind her weakly. I feel faint. I must go and lie down. And she turns as if to run into room, takes a tottering step, and then her knees suddenly buckle under her, and she falls in a dread faint at the foot of the bed. As her hand strikes the floor, her fingers relax, and the box slips out onto one of the hooked rugs. Davinia does not notice this. Startled by Christine's clasp, she automatically bends on knees beside her and hastily feels for her pulse. Then, satisfied she has only fainted, her anguished hatred immediately returns and she speaks with strident denunciation. You murdered him just the same by telling him. I suppose you think you will be free to marry Adam now, but you won't, nor while I am alive. I'll make you pay for your crime. I'll find a way to punish you. She is starting to her feet when her eyes fall on the little box on the rug. Immediately she snatches it up and stares at it, the look of suspicion changing into dread, horrified certainty. Now she's sure कि इसके बाप को कत्ल किया गया. Then with a shuddering cry, she shrinks back along the side of the bed, the box clutched in her hand, and sinks on her knees by the head of the bed and flings her arms round the dead man with anguish beseeching. Father, don't leave me alone. Come back to me. Tell me what to do. So here Act 4 ends, and this is the end of Homecoming. Hope you liked it. So thank you very much. Subscribe the channel because I keep bringing value information for you, and I try my best कि आपको जो material यहाँ पे provide किया जाए that should be filled with the like most simplest kind of explanation. So thank you very much. Stay tuned.